Hello everybody, getting ready to do lesson 9.1 part 2 today of pre-algebra math. 9.1 part 2 has 32 points on your classwork sheet. Have that out in front of you now. It's about square roots. Put your name, date, period here, students, on your paper, your phone, your Apple, your Droid, your Chromebook, your computer. Let's go to page 1 is a bell work for part 2, which is kind of rare. Students and teachers, number 1, approximate the square root to the nearest integer for this one here, and then down here use a calculator to approximate the square root, round to the nearest tenth, so use a calculator on that one. And teachers, give your students about 3 minutes. See you in 3. Welcome back everybody for the solutions of today's bell work. And for number 1 up here, 81 to the nearest integer now. 81 is less than 84 is less than 100. 9 squared is 81. And then 10 squared is 100. So 84 is between 81 and 100. So therefore the square root of 81 is the square root of 84 is between the square root of 81 and 100. So 9 is less than the square root of 84 is less than 10. So approximate the square root to the nearest integer. It'd be between 9 and 10 would be your square root of 84. And then it'd be a negative too, by the way. And so because 84 is closer to 81 than to 100, the square root of 84 is closer to 9 than to 10. So the square root of 84 is approximately 9, and the negative square root of 84 would be approximately negative 9. And then down here, using a calculator to find the square root of 6.92, that comes out to approximately 2.6 would be approximately the square root of 6.92. Our lesson for today, classwork, page 1, radical expressions. A radical expression is an expression that involves a radical sign. The horizontal bar in a radical sign is a grouping symbol. When you evaluate a radical expression, evaluate the expression inside the radical symbol before finding the square root. So let's try an example of that. Let's go into evaluating a radical expression. Evaluate 2 times the radical a plus b squared, rather the square root of a plus b squared, when a equals 11 and b equals 5. So how will we evaluate that? So 2 times the square root of 11 plus 5 squared, and we substitute 11 for a and 5 for b, and then so 2 times the square root of 36. Evaluate expression inside radical symbol, so we add in here 11 plus 5 squared would be 36, and we get, well, see, the square root of 36 is 6, so 2 times 6 would equal 12, so there is your evaluation of this radical expression. Evaluate square root then multiply. So that's what we did. So let's try one up here when a equals 12 and b equals 4. This is our guided practice up here, students. This is your independent. Let's do our guided first. So when a equals 12 and b equals 4, and then we plug in here to our expression, we have 3 times the square root of 12 times 4 plus 1. And so it'd be 3 times the square root of 48 plus 1. And then 3 times the square root of 49, which is 7. So 3 times 7 would equal 21 is what this expression evaluates to. Let's go to our next example. Next example here is example 5, solving an equation using square root. So physics. An amusement park ride includes a free fall drop of 272 feet you can use the equation d equals 16t squared to determine the time t in seconds. So the seconds it takes a dropped object to fall a distance of d feet, how long does the free fall part of the ride take? So we have this equation here to determine the time t that it takes a dropped object to fall a distance d. So here's distance and here's time over here. How long does the free fall part of the ride take? So we have a free fall drop of 272 feet. So to use our equation up here, d equals 16t squared, and then we're going to plug in, we got 272 feet of a drop, and then we have 16t squared, substitute 272 for d, and then we're going to divide each side by 16 to get rid of our, we're going to solve for t now, because we want to know how long it takes. So we divide each side by 16, 17 equals t squared, and then we're going to take square root of both sides, and when we take the square root of t squared, it goes to t, and then 17, what's square root plus or minus square root of 17? Use the definition of square root. It comes out to about 4.1, is approximately what t is equal to, so that would be your time. So let's go into a guided practice now. Photography. You can use the following rule of thumb when photographing fireworks. The f-stop, a number that describes the size of the opening of the camera lens, should be the number closest to the square root of the film speed. It should be the closest to the square root of the film speed. You have a camera with an f-stop numbers of 2.8, 4.4, 5.6, 8, 11, 16, and 22. Which f-stop should you use to photograph fireworks if you are using a film speed of 64 or of 100? So what f-stop should we use for that? So to solve that, square root of 64 equals 8. So use a camera with an f-stop of 8 if you are using a film speed of 64. And then of 100, the square root of 100 will be 10. So use a camera with an f-stop of 11 if you're using a film speed of 100. So that would be a device or a tool of finding square roots to determine which f-stop to use with a specific film speed. Let's go into, that's our lesson for today. Animated PowerPoint Math video at AOL.com for questions or course materials. Thank you very much.